Okay, let's move on to the Chicago Cubs. I want to spend another team, Jeremy, like the Blue Jays and like the Padres, who we've also talked about quite a bit, who just don't have picks and money. They never do. And so I want to spend a little bit of time on their first pick. They come up on the board at 17. And we know now that they ended up taking Wake Forest outfielder Ethan Conrad, who had missed 2/3 of the season after a surgery related to his labrum. I'm just going to walk through some other available names who may have been a fit, and then we'll get your take on Conrad. So other guys still on the board at that time: Ike Irish, Andrew Fisher, Wahiva Aloy, Jace Laviolette, and then from the prep ranks, Xavier Nyans still on the board. Pardon me, Kason Cunningham still on the board. They end up going with Conrad, 6'3", 220 pounds. Like I said, missed a chunk of the season due to injury. I'm just recapping his numbers. In his one season at Wake, right after transferring from D2 Marist, he only played 21 games. Within those 21 games, 372, 495, 744, a 167 WRC plus, 7 home runs, an 18% walk rate, and a 14% strikeout rate with a good record on the Cape too. What's your take on the Cubs pick here of Conrad?
I mean, it came as a surprise. Came as a surprise to me,
Okay.
but all of the stuff after suggested how much they really liked him, and I think that it's easy to see that. It's just harder to understand with a pretty brief track record.
Yep.
And so we had talked about Conrad before as kind of the one guy that's been injured. How do you really feel about him? They do have, the other thing is they're pretty loaded with outfield prospects.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's a draft for need type thing, but could they have, with their limited assets in the draft, done something different? Because it wasn't just Conrad, but Kepley's not really a high ceiling dude. Dominic Reed was an interesting choice in round 3. They went back prep in round 4 and round 6.
Yep. And we'll talk about those guys in a second.
But yeah, so like, what's the upside of this draft for the Cubs?
I don't like. I know they have limited picks, right? And so that part I get. But I do personally think this follows a Cubs trend in recent seasons, which we talked a little bit about on the live stream, which seems to be, we're gonna take a college guy, but we're also going to lean into some elevated risk from that college guy. So if we rewind to Cam Smith, now he was the best player on our board available by a ton, but Cam Smith was not like a super safe, high floor college guy. He was a guy who some people said, we hate his swing. We do not think this is going to work. He chases too much, XYZ, ABC. They seem to lean into like slightly more volatile versions of the college profile. And this is what Conrad is to me. Like, I think you and I both agree that if he had had that type of production for the entire season, he would have been a lock top 10 pick. But 21 games, you didn't see him in conference play. He did most of his hitting at home against a poor non-conference slate. And so, he does have a good Cape track record, but I do think, like, if Conrad doesn't work out in this class, then who's your impact major league guy? It's not Kepley, in my opinion. I just don't.
Right.
I don't know that I'm excited about enough of the additional picks beyond their prepsters in rounds 4 and round 6. That I'm worried, like, and they've hit on their college guy the past couple of years, but what happens when they don't, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Well, and your point too was, if Conrad does what he does over the full season, he's a top 10 pick. Great. If Conrad plays the entire season and is less of what he was, he doesn't go in the first round.
Yeah.
Right. So the volatility on that is pretty significant. And your point that you made is 100% true. Like, where does the impact come? And I just don't know where it comes from.
Yep.
And that becomes a problem. Like 4 outfielders in the top 6 picks, and then mostly pitchers. 2 guys listed, 2 guys drafted as a catcher, and then a prep third baseman that probably won't sign at round 19. Like it's going to be all pitchers. But they also have they came in the year with 6 top 100 prospects.
Yep.
So they have the assets at that range to deal in the event that they need to make a move here in the next couple weeks.